welcome to the master class. Haven't subscribed already? Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I appreciate you guys so much. We dropped the financial and social literacy program. It's a free course, right? So if you want to get that course, drop the word confidence. It's completely free. It's on our Alliance website as well. And I've made it into a book just because I'm super passionate about this. I struggled with social anxiety for a very long time. It got to the point where I was genuinely scared that I could not become a teacher, let alone get into real estate, let alone become an entrepreneur. Because if you guys have noticed, becoming an investor, entrepreneur, or even like advancing in your career, you are going to be required to like socialize. You are going to be required to network to get to that next level, right? That's exactly what we'll be talking about today. And I'll be actually doing some exercises later on with you guys live. So that means if you want to get onto the exercises, this is going to be interactive. You want to jump on the Zoom. Seriously, go to the link in my bio, click that link, get onto the Zoom, and then that way we can do the live exercises. That's where I'll be doing the live exercises. I won't be on this masterclass on Instagram the whole time. So again, if you want to participate, you want to get the most out of this free masterclass, you got to jump into that Zoom. Again, hit that link in my bio, get onto the Zoom. We have someone that just joined in. Awesome. And that way we're going to do some exercises shortly. Okay, but a big reason that I wanted to talk about and create a program, write a book on social and financial confidence is because very early in my career, I realized that being able to socialize and being able to make not just enough money to survive, enough money to thrive and continually grow that, networking is going to be key, right? So with that, I struggled with social anxiety, wanted to make sure that I can get past that. And then that's why I put this all together. Because if you're too afraid to even put yourself out there, I'm not even just talking about online, I'm talking about in person. If that's something stopping you, you're really blocking a ton of your potential because you're missing out on money that people want to invest in you. You're missing out on like personal relationships that could flourish into, maybe that's like a romantic partner or whatever. And you're also missing out on an opportunity to just improve how you can actually grow as an entrepreneur. Okay, I'll take some questions as we go along here, but then I'll be jumping into a lot of this shortly. But I want to buy a new house for my family and rent out our house. Do you know of a private lender? Yes, I do. You message VN. He's actually in here right now. He's actually one of our sponsored brokers. So hit him up. That is with Pineapple Financial. So they're awesome. You can actually reach out to him. He's in the live Zoom right now, so you can reach out to him. So good question there. Thank you. So yeah, let's get into it. So with this social and financial confidence book launch, couple things that we'll really cover here, right? One thing that we're going to cover is this introduction to social and financial confidence, right? This idea that, and we hear this all online, especially for the guys out there, they're trying to figure out the dating, right? Yeah, it does apply to the females out there as well, but a lot of it is really pushed onto the males, is that you got to become like this high value guy. You got to like make a ton of money, be super jacked, be super charismatic to then be able to handle, let's say, the personal socializing, like the dating side, but also like to become an entrepreneur. That being said, I think this is a total lie that we've been taught. This isn't just my ideas. I've spent good money. I've actually trained with one of the best networkers on the planet. We trained for 5 days in Miami, probably talked to at least 1,000 people during those 5 days. It was crazy. It was intense. I lost a lot of sleep because we were out pretty late at night, but that taught me the power of how to actually become socially confident and then transfer that to making money both in person and online, right? Because a lot of this is going to be limited to our ability to actually connect with people, right? So again, if you want to jump onto the exercises, we're going to start that shortly. I'm just going to go over what we're kind of covering today. And then again, these exercises, I want this to be interactive. So if you're already on the Zoom, awesome. I might point you out, but if I'm going to ask for volunteers first, of course. But this is really how it's going to improve your communication skills. You're going to learn how to actually just escape these social and financial traps and get control of your life, right? If you have an inability to walk up to someone and say hi, well, that's going to block you from your personal life. It's going to block you in your professional life with your networking. And if you ever find yourself at like a networking event where at one level, maybe you want to go, then like that social anxiety kicks in. Well, I want to help you deal with that. Maybe at the second level, you're able to show up to the networking event. Now you're struggling with like, what do I say? How do I like connect with people? I don't want to be bothering people. I want to eliminate some limiting beliefs so that you can get over that as well. And all this is going to translate because it's the people that are the best communicators that are not only getting all the deals, let's say in real estate or their business, but the people are actually coming to them because I want you guys to learn how to attract opportunities. This is chapter 4 in the book, and it's section 4 in the free course. Again, everyone here that joins on the live training and also gets on the list, you guys are going to get sent these programs there, right? And essentially, this is going to be key to getting to that next level, right? So again, if you want to jump and do the interactive training, you got to jump onto the Zoom call, right? Link is in my bio. Then I'm going to show you 6 steps, which we're going to get into right away, basically, to improve your social confidence. These are not ideas that I created, right? These are tried and true principles that come from my mentor. He's been doing it for well over 20 years. And he's like basically the leading person when it comes to networking and building these skills. So I want to be able to give you 6 steps that will destroy any social anxiety you have. And then even if the social anxiety comes back, you have these step-by-steps to help you just become a better networker, right? That's going to be absolutely key, okay? So let's jump into it. With these 6 steps, right? I want to give you guys these 6 steps. Then we're going to jump into some activities, some actual participation that I'll ask with you guys, okay? But with these 6 steps, the first one is, okay, so you get to a networking event, you actually want to talk to everyone, right? You want to basically approach everyone. And the reason we do this right when we walk in, and you'll see me do this all the time, is because this is actually going to get you out of your head and into the actual steps of reaching out and contacting and just chatting with everyone, right? We want to take so much action that it reduces the amount of overthinking that we have. That's a big issue I find with people that want to network is like they don't know what to say or they like awkwardly sit there and like not talk to anyone, right? So the moment you walk into the room, you're chatting with everyone. I do this when I walk out of the door, right? The moment I walk out into the real world, I'm chatting and talking to everybody, right? This is going to reduce your decision-making fatigue. We're going to talk about a few ways that we get tired, and I'm going to give you guys some exercises shortly on, okay, how do we actually just keep talking without having to necessarily think, right? Then we want to minimize, this is the second step, we want to minimize time between interactions. Meaning, if you're out in public and you're out in doing your networking, right? What you want to do is you're talking to everybody and then you're going to reduce the time it takes to chat with people. Meaning the moment I finish a conversation here, I'm jumping into the next conversation. What this does is, again, we're getting out of our heads, we're reducing that social anxiety, and we're making sure that we do not get stuck in our heads, okay? If you're overthinking things, if you're stuck in your head all the time, that is a sign that we need to improve not just your social confidence, but your communication skills. And that is absolutely blocking you from getting to the next level when it comes to, let's say you want to get into real estate or you want to start a business in person or online, right? We want to reduce that time so that once I finish a conversation, I'm networking here, I'm going to the next person and I'm chatting them up, right? Number 3, you do not want to judge yourself, okay? A little bit of a secret is as I'm doing these videos, as I'm doing these live streams, as I'm speaking, I'm not necessarily trying to judge myself. I don't want to evaluate my communication skills while I'm actually communicating. What I'm really focusing on is how I feel when I'm speaking? How am I getting the point across? And how am I literally trying to transfer information? I'm visualizing this. I'm not thinking about this. Information from my head into your head through this screen. I will literally imagine that there's a laser from my head that's going into the camera. Well, I'm looking at this camera here, and another laser that's going into the from my head into this camera so that you can actually get the information. I do this when I'm networking as well. And what this does is, again, I'm not going to tire myself out when it comes to networking. Okay. If you find yourself getting tired from networking, if you find yourself feeling like, oh my God, like networking so hard, I don't know like what to say, or you feel exhausted, okay, people will write it off as simply saying, I'm an introvert. Not necessarily. What's probably happening is that you're most likely overthinking things, you're judging yourself, and you feel like you're getting judged by others. And that's tiring you out. Because instead of just focusing on communication, what's actually happening is you're judging yourself, you're having like a second dialogue in your head while you're talking. It's making you nervous and it's not serving you. Okay. And this comes a lot from this place of wanting to compensate, right? If you genuinely don't think you're good enough, then you're going to compensate while you're communicating, as opposed to just communicating and being present to that moment. And that's why we want to help you not judge yourself. That's the third step with this communication skill is you want to not judge yourself, right? That's going to be absolutely key. And that's going to help you reach those goals, right? Next is fourth step. You want to find something funny after each interaction, right? With every person you speak to, online, in person, you want to make sure that you find something funny with every interaction. This is going to make it that you're just having a good time, right? You're not this person who is trying to like take when it comes to communication and comes to networking. Instead, you're actually having a good time networking. This is going to take some skill and practice, but every time that I'm communicating with someone, I've trained my mind to just find something funny after every single situation. Even if someone rejects me, I sent 100 DMs this morning. Okay. Some people were just like, I don't want your free book. I was like, cool. I think it's kind of hilarious that they don't want the free book, but whatever, find something funny each time. I've walked up to people and straight up be like, I totally forgot what I was about to say. Anyway, name's Patrick. How's it going? And that's genuine. I'm not planning that in my head. I literally forgot what I was going to say, but that's funny. That's a story now. And you want to not be that person who's so uptight and like serious when it comes to networking, where like you're like sitting there, be like, hey, it's nice to meet you, right? I'm making a caricature about this, but the key there is that you want to just find something funny after each interaction. It's going to make networking way easier for you, right? Then, in the beginning of a networking event or while you're warming up, let's say, so maybe you've been stuck at home, you haven't gone out for a little bit, you haven't networked in many days or many weeks or even years, who knows? You want to keep the interaction short and sweet in the beginning, and then you want to make sure to extend this later on. But in the beginning of the evening, it's short and sweet interactions, quick little 5-10 second interactions like, hey, give people compliments. Hey, I love your shirt today. That's awesome. Hey, I love the hat. I get that pretty often. That's pretty cool. Or, hey, I think we chatted before. Just want to reintroduce myself. Hey, I'm Patrick. And then, hey, let's chat a little bit more later. But you're keeping it short and sweet. So right off the bat, right off the gate, you're already speaking to a ton of people during this time before you dive deep. Because in the beginning, it's just getting out of our heads, right? And I want to give you these systems because this is what's been given to me from one of my own mentors. And it's been so powerful that even if I don't like socialize, even if I've been stuck in my basement, just like working for like weeks, and then I end up going out, well, if it's been weeks, I know I'm gonna be a little like I'll probably be a little awkward. I'll probably like not know like what to say. I'll probably like be like, hey, maybe I just want to get a drink and like sit in a corner. But with these steps, I just have these short interactions with a bunch of people, then it gets me out of my shell and I can start warming up. The goal here is we want to give you tools so you can continually improve on these skills, and that no, even if you're in a place where you're struggling, you have these steps to get you at next level, right? Finally, last little step here is going to be you want to go further than the last interaction. Meaning, if that first interaction it was just like a quick high five, you introduce yourself, awesome, hey, it was nice to meet you, cool, hey, let's chat later. Then you go into the next interaction, maybe you're chatting a little bit longer. You introduce yourself, be like, oh, cool, like what brought you to this event, right? How'd you hear about the event? Cool, it's 30 seconds long. Hey, it was nice meeting. Let's chat a little bit later. Go into the next conversation. And what this does is you get longer and longer interactions so that again you're building momentum, right? It's setting the bar low at first and then gradually making it more and more and more difficult or longer. Okay. What this is going to do is because you've talked to a bunch of people in the room at a networking event, or maybe you're doing this just like trying to improve your social skills, chat with a lot of people, this is going to start building that momentum, and then you'll start getting into a flow state, right? Flow state is when your mind shuts off and now maybe you're a little bit funnier because now you don't care as much. You're saying anything that comes to your head. You're having a good time. People are wanting to be like, oh, like they want to join your conversation. And you'll see this at networking events. If one person's like speaking and chatting with a bunch of people, and then all of a sudden, like a group will like come close and then everyone will start listening to that person. That's how I'll kind of see, okay, that person's in a flow state. They're just chatting and they're in that zone where they're socializing very comfortably, right? If you guys have ever come to our Alliance events, especially the live in-person free networking events, it's always packed, it's always sold out. And something that I've noticed every single time is because it gets so packed in there that it gets to a point, maybe the beginning, even middle of the night for sure, that I can no longer hear myself think. It's just so loud. So that actually helps in that now I don't need to think about what I say. It's because I can't even hear my own thoughts, right? That being said, is going to force you to really speak louder. Okay, this is a big um, sticking point that I see a lot of people, whether you're wanting to get into real estate, start their own business, or even like make content online or just become a better communicator, is that they're just not speaking loud enough, right? I used to be like this. Okay. I used to think that I couldn't speak loud or that I was already speaking loud enough. Okay. One exercise that you can do to improve on this, you guys can actually do this at home, is take your phone or any recording device and then put on like the voice notes and put the phone at the end of the room. And then what you're going to do is walk to the other side of the room and you're going to try and throw your voice there. And at first, what's going to happen is you're going to be speaking from like your throat. Let's see if I can do this. If you speak from your throat, it's going to be very straining on your throat. Instead, what you want to do is speak from your diaphragm, right? What this does, it makes your voice a lot more powerful and you're not going to exert yourself when you're constantly communicating, with those networking nights, some days, some of those events, we're talking for like 3 or 4 hours straight, okay? Just chatting with everyone. Doing live streams like this, sometimes I'm speaking for like a full hour or even like 2 hours, just chatting the whole time. Okay. And what that does is if you use just your throat, you're going to burn out your throat. And again, it's going to tire you out. But if you're communicating in a way where your volume's actually good, your tonality is actually good, and people actually understand what you're saying, it's going to make your networking so much more powerful. Okay. So again, if you guys want to jump into the Zoom, because we're going to do some exercises shortly, maybe in about 6 minutes, I want to invite you, especially if you're serious about getting into real estate, communication is going to be absolutely key. Hit the link in my bio, jump onto the Zoom chat. We're going to do some live and interactive training. So I want to help you guys become better communicators because that's absolutely key. Okay. The best communicators I've ever found are the ones that actually end up liberating their bloodlines, actually the ones that are able to raise money, are able to attract deals, and people want to come to them. So you definitely want to jump onto the Zoom. It's in the link in my bio. Seriously, jump off this live stream, hit the link in my bio, get it onto the Zoom, and then I'd love to see you in there. We're going to start some training in there, some actual in-person training. Okay. Basically, another thing that I really want to talk about in this new book and this program is how to actually build that magnetic presence. Okay. How do you actually have people come to you, bring you deals? And this is not just about money, right? I've had times, and I know some people that are quote unquote naturals that have this, and they'll at a party and they'll just never buy any drinks. Like I've had a time where like I don't drink anymore, right? I try to really limit how much I drink, but I'll go and just chat with someone and then do these steps, make sure I'm improving my networking skills, getting better as we go. And what will happen that I will just get a bunch of free drinks. Like there was one night where I got like 37 free drinks. I wasn't drinking, right? So they passed me a drink and I just pass it on to someone else. And that's a microcosm of what you can get out of this. Once you become that person who's magnetic, once you become that person who has that personality that just draws people in, people will want to get you free drinks, they'll pay for your dinner, they'll want to invest with you, they'll want to do deals with you, maybe they even want to date you if that's kind of what you're looking for. And it makes it that your life is just almost on easy mode. You guys ever have that friend who's just like anywhere they go, people know them, they're giving them free stuff, they're getting them into these venues for free, and it's all because they have this magnetic personality. And the key to this magnetic personality, which we're going to be talking about shortly, after we do some live trainings. So we got a few people here in the live chat. So we're going to do some live trainings. I'm actually going to jump off of Instagram. I might jump on again, but I want to make sure I give my attention to the people that actually got onto the Zoom. Again, if you're serious about your goals, you want to seriously improve your communication skills, jump onto the Zoom. Okay, we got Mark who just joined. If you want to improve your communication skills, jump onto the Zoom. Link is in my bio. Minar, I know I know you're in sales, so I know this is going to help you. You want to improve your communication skills, get onto the Zoom. We're going to do some live training right now. We're going to be interactive. It's going to make sure that you guys actually learn how to do this stuff. And Raphael, I see you're on here too. Jump onto the Zoom, hit the link in my bio. I'm going to jump onto Instagram. I'm going to jump off of Instagram, actually. I'm going to focus on people on Zoom. So again, if you're serious about this, if you want to get better communication skills, improve your social skills, we're going to do some live practical training. Jump on the Zoom right away. Link is in my bio. Chat soon. Welcome, Vishal. Jump on the link in my bio. We're going to do some training right away. Cool. Okay, cool. I want to discard this. I don't want that. Okay, cool. Okay, so people on the live. We'll see if some people also join in here. I know it's during the middle of the day. Ciola, welcome. Vien, welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna get people to Ciola. Hope I'm pronouncing your name properly, man. I'm gonna get you to unmute. We'll start with you. I'm gonna give you a. How's the day going, man?
Yeah. It's going good, Patrick. It's just Sheila. You can just call me Sheila.
Sorry, what is it?
Sheila.
Sile?
Sheila.
Sile.
It's like a lay.
Le.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can like hear me properly, but it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally butchering that. Sorry, man. Okay, cool. So do some training here. I'll go first and then I'm going to pass on to you guys. And what we're going to work on here is the first part is how to essentially just free associatively talk, right? And what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to just like get rid of that thinking mind, because that really blocks us from being able to communicate, right? And especially now that we're on Zoom, and even in person is going to help, but I know a lot of meetings, a lot of business, a lot of capital raising, a lot of deal closing, a lot of sales now is done on Zoom or on the phone. Okay, so what we want to do is work on these skills, and I'm going to give you guys some pointers first. But the first one is basically you want to be able to talk about anything and everything with a certain level of confidence, right? So we'll work on that first. In the chat, give me a random topic. Don't pick real estate, financing, or teaching. Something that maybe I don't know much about. I'll let you guys pick a topic, and then we'll do the exercise. I'll go first, but give me a random topic. Could be anything. Fitness. Cool. Yeah, I don't really know too much about fitness. Okay, so I'm going to put a 30-second timer, and then the goal is to talk about fitness for 30 seconds without having any doubts in your voice, and then almost speaking as if like you're an authority. Okay, so I'll start. I'm putting my timer for 30 seconds. Then we'll pass it on to everyone. Give everyone a chance. Okay, cool. So fitness is super important because health is wealth. You can make all the money in the world. You can socialize all you want. You can have like the best communication skills. But if you're not actually physically fit, then that is going to stop your growth. Okay. Maybe you guys are working out. Like I know for me, one of my workouts right now, I'm not the most fit guy. But what I'll do is before every meal, I'll sneak in 50 to 100 push-ups. Maybe I'll even do 50 squats. Cool. So you see how I'm speaking, and I'm even trying to look into the camera, and volume's high enough. I'm making sure that I'm speaking in a way that puts authority into my voice. We're going to fine tune that. So don't worry if you're new to this. I want to give everyone a chance to go. So for Minar, who just joined, welcome. We're doing some exercise on communication to how to freely associate when we speak. So for 30 seconds, you're going to be given a random topic, and you're just going to speak on that topic as if you were the authority, as if you were, the Grant Cardone of, let's say, fitness. And then we're going to give you some little pointers there. So let's check this out. Who wants to go next? I'll take a volunteer, and then if not, I'm going to pick someone. It's 30 seconds only. I'll give you a random topic. Who wants to go? Raise your hand or take yourself off the mic if you want to go. If not, I'm going to make everyone go. Who's going? Who's going? Who's going? Okay, I'm going to pick VN. Are you down? Are you there? Mic off if you're there. Let's get some participation going. I don't know. I think VN might be not watching there. Might be off. Sile. Hope I pronounced that right.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
Okay, sweet.
I
Let's
already kind of know a bit about fitness already, so could I get
yeah.
like a different
Yeah,
topic?
I'll give you a different topic. Oh, I got one. I got a good one for you. Okay, so your topic's going to be knitting. I'll give you a moment. And then again, try not to think about it too much. The goal is really just focus on the voice, have that authority, and then speak as if you know everything about knitting. So I'll give you 30 seconds starting now. Go.
Knitting is a great activity I like to do on a day-to-day basis. It helps me stay calm and process my feelings. And with the crochet hook, I like making mittens and other accessories for winter stuff. So just today, I'm making a scarf for my jacket. It's gonna take a few hours, of course, but I
Neat.
enjoy the
Okay,
time.
good stuff, man. Nice. How was that?
Uh, I was like a little nervous at the beginning, but then afterwards, I kind of got away from it.
Totally. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I noticed as you kept speaking, like more authority came into your voice, more this ability to just like freely associate. And then you had less ums and ahs later on than in the beginning. Um, Nothing really wrong with ums and ahs, especially as you like use it as a way to get into the zone. What will help is like being okay with those pauses. So that's something we
Yeah,
could
that's something I want to work
practice,
on.
right? Like anytime you want to say you just add a pause. It
Hmm.
makes it like way more confident. But yeah, good stuff, man. Crushed it. Okay, sweet. So Raphael just joins. We're doing some exercise here on like communication, just being able to freely associate what we're doing is 30 seconds. You're given a random topic and you want to talk as if you're the authority, as if you're like the Grant Cardone of knitting, is what we just did here. Um, I'm gonna see if Minar, since you were here earlier, if you're in there, you want to give it a shot. Take your mic off if you're cool. Cool, yeah, Minar. I'll actually get you to take a do the video call too, if that's okay. That way, I can see as well.
Actually, I'm on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if not, test. How's your volume?
Are you hear me?
I can kind of hear you. It's kind of low.
I have a. Oh, I'm not sure why.
Test. You can hear me though, eh?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, yeah, that's way better. Awesome. Okay, so Minar, 30 seconds. I'm gonna give you a random topic. Let's see here. Oh, I got one. Fireplaces. Okay, so your topic's gonna be fireplaces. Again, you want to speak with authority. Try not to think about it too much, and I'll give you 30 seconds to talk about fireplaces starting now.
Hi everyone. Fireplaces are a great place to be around when you just want to some chill for a little bit, take your mind off whatever you're doing, like not watch a TV or anything, but maybe you just want to use the phone in the winter. You can just light it up, especially if it's a gas lit fireplace, you can easily light it up. But I prefer the wooden fireplace because it requires a little bit of work to get the fire started. And I think that's kind of a fun thing to do when you're trying to start up a
Nice.
fireplace. And
Sweet. Good stuff,
then,
Minar. Good. Like you didn't really have any ums and ahs. So that was solid. It was like you're speaking very let's say consistently. Few things to work on. And this might just be like the phone or the computer you're using, but like volume could be higher a little bit, but maybe it's just like the recording thing. And then another one that will help is try breathing in between while you're speaking, right? Because I thought it was very like just like it's almost like you just spoke in like one breath, um, which maybe it's like linked to being nervous or whatnot, but otherwise like it was good. You spoke pretty well, it's really solid. No real ums and ahs, so that was solid. Good stuff, man.
thanks. Thank you.
Cool. Next we got Raphael. You want to go next?
Sure. You want my
Sweet.
video on?
Yeah, let's take the video on. Sweet. Awesome. Okay, welcome back. We just did a session earlier, so I was coaching Raphael there. Sweet. So yeah, we're gonna pick a random topic and then we're gonna get you to just talk about it. Again, you want to put enough authority in your voice as if you are like the leading person when it comes to let's see here. Let's pick tea. Tea will be your topic, like loose leaf tea and stuff like that. So I'll give you 30 seconds starting now. Go.
So I like tea. The best tea I've had is bubble tea. If you would count that as a tea. But other than that, if there's one thing I could share with you guys is I don't like green tea. I hate matcha. Some people are gonna kill me for that, but it is what it is. I usually go to tea places with some friends. I think it's a good place to meet people and have a good conversation. I prefer bubble tea than hot tea though, because I don't know. I've in my experience, some tea
Sweet.
places that I've
Nice.
oh,
Good stuff, Raph. Okay, awesome. So good free flowing. I couldn't really tell if you were like thinking about what you're saying and whatnot. Celia says I gotta head out. This is amazing. See you tomorrow. Camera will be ready. Tomorrow is it's a direct message to me. Yeah, I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Sweet. Send me a message. You wanna check this out? Next. So where was I? Oh, right. Yeah. So Raphael there. Yeah, good free flowing. Didn't really look like you were thinking too hard about what you're saying. Something, and this is actually the segue into our next session. Let me just turn this on here. This will be the next part. I'm going to go back on live and then give you that next tip. Live master class on nets working. Let's book launch. Boom. Okay. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, so that was good. The one thing I would work on is sometimes there's like that upward tonality when you're speaking. It's like, oh, like I like bubble tea, right? It goes up a little bit. This is actually the next part that we'll work on is when you are networking, one thing is going to be key, of course, is our communication skills, right? And part of this, and this is where in the book I talk about becoming the chosen one, becoming that guy, that girl, where like just opportunities come your way. And a lot of it is how we position ourselves and how we add authority in our voice. You really want to look at your voice as the tool that's going to allow you to get more deals, have better skills, have better opportunities come your way. And a lot of this is going to come to our tonality. So there's going to be three tonalities that exist, right? There's going to be neutral tonality. This is going to be like when someone's speaking and they're like a weather person, right? So today it is -4 degrees in Winnipeg and it is slightly cold with a slight chance of kind of boring, right? It's very monotone. If you speak like that, like even me speaking like that right now, like I'm bored already, right? You'll never hold people's attention if you have that monotone, neutral tonality, right? It's not bad, but it's not great either. The next mistake and the next type of tonality I see people make is the rapport seeking tonality. This is where I call it like coffee date tonality, where at the end of every sentence, like the voice goes up a little bit, right? And that's really that the underlying thing here is like we want things to work out, right? And you'll see that the people that are good communicators, whether they study this or not, whether they're naturals or not, they almost care a little bit less about the outcome, right? And I hope like you guys are seeing this here. Like, yeah, I'm excited to be here with you guys. Shout out to everyone on IG and shout out to everyone on Zoom. If you want to take part in this and the active participation, you want to hit the link in my bio, get onto the Zoom. We'll be starting a little bit more exercise later. But with this upward dates, coffee date tonality, it's like, hey, how's it going? Or hey, I like it when I get to work out. And it's like always goes up at the end. This is that rapport seeking. It's like we're trying to get people to like us, right? Versus what we want is a little bit of that blase, I don't really care too much attitude. This is who I am. This is what you get. I'm not going to apologize for who I am. And I'm just putting myself out there. I don't need this to work out, right? That's the mindset. And also, that's going to be the tonality that we'll talk about next is that it's just easy speaking, right? And I'm not trying to get your attention. Like, do you want to buy my book? Like, people will know that you're trying to get something out of it. Versus if I'm like, hey, I dropped a book. If you're interested, awesome. If you want to get better at your social skills, get better at real estate, awesome. Hit the link in the bio, and then let's jump onto Zoom, right? The goal there is to really have that like blase. This is very normal. This is neutral. I don't really care too much if things work out. I'll have just as good a time if I decide to go to my fridge and just have lunch. That's just as fun as me being here talking to you guys, right? Molinar Mike says that makes so much sense, brother. Yeah, hope that helps. So this third tonality, there's gonna be one more that I want to share with you guys, a little bit of a secret that I learned. But this third tonality is going to be breaking rapport tonality. That's where your voice goes down a little bit. This is how your boss would talk to you, right? It's like, hey, Raf, can you get me that sheet? I think it's in the back of the van there. And my voice goes down a little bit. It's very commanding. This is better than coffee date mentality, like, hey, how's it going? Or like, hey, I like your shirt, right? You can just a little bit, hey, I like your shirt. Goes down a little bit. Very commanding, a little bit more authority. The issue with this type of tonality, and you want to watch out for this, is it's almost too commanding. It's great when used as a tool, let's say if you're directing people and wanting to get people to do things for you. The issue is that it breaks rapport. It's not really building that connection with the other person, right? Instead, what you want is called positive dominance, right? The only difference is, this is really going to simplify things a lot for you guys, is it's going to be that rapport breaking tonality, but with a smile. And it's almost like you always have this inside joke when you're speaking to people. And I'm doing it right now, right? Every time I'm ending my sentences, I'm just focused on, okay, I'm breaking the rapport a little bit by going down in my tonality, but it's almost like I'm having a joke at the end of every single time I'm speaking, right? And what this does is you'll have the power and authority of having breaking rapport tonality, but because you're doing it with a smile, you're adding that fun, carefree vibe into it. And you know how in the beginning we talked about how we want to reduce judgment within ourselves? Well, if you reduce judgment onto other people, where you're not really judging them, you're just speaking, having a good time, whether it's a sales call, whether it's a business call, whether it's you're actually just shooting the shit and having a good time networking, or even if you're like on a date or something, this is going to make it so that the other person doesn't feel judged, right? It's breaking rapport tonality, breaking rapport going down, but I'm doing it with a smile, right? This is going to be super powerful, especially if you're in sales, where if you guys are in any sales position, whether it's high ticket, low ticket, whatever it is, try to add this breaking rapport tonality when, even if you're asking questions, right? Like one of the questions I always ask people is, hey, I know you're trying to get into real estate. Like, what are some like obstacles that you're running into? And you say I'm breaking rapport a little bit, still trying to add a smile. And when they tell me their answer, they're like, oh, like, I want to get into real estate, but I think money's a little tight. I'll wait a bit and I'll just repeat back what they say. I'll be like, okay, well, it sounds like you want to get into real estate, but it's almost like, you feel like money's a little tight. Do I understand that properly? And I'm breaking rapport. I'm trying to add a smile into it. And what this does, it positions you as the authority, but you're also not judging them, being like, oh, I'm better than you. Because that's not going to be persuasive at all, right? It's actually not going to help, right? So those are the three tonalities, basically. And what we're going to do here, next little section. And for the ones that are at the Instagram live, we got Chris, we got Mike here. If you guys are interested, hit the link in my bio, jump onto the Zoom. We're going to do some training here. And what that's going to do is we're going to actually do it live, right? We're going to give everyone a chance to do it live here and then make sure we can actually improve these skills, right? So again, if you're interested, jump on to the live. Seriously, you want to get access to this, go on to my bio, hit the link, get onto Zoom, okay? So for the ones here on Zoom, I'm going to stay on live on Instagram for a little bit, but I'll go first, right? And what we want to do is practice the three tonalities. So I'll type it out here. So we have rapport. So we have neutral tonality. Neutral tonality. Then we also have seeking rapport tonality. That's like, hey, how's it going? And then there's breaking rapport tonality. And then finally, there's positive dominance. So to start, I'll go first. And someone type out a sentence. Could be a random sentence. Put it in the chat. If you're on Zoom, just give me a random sentence. Could be anything. Wow, you guys are typing out the random sentence. Cool, I like your shirt. Cool. So someone said, Raphael said, I like your shirt. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every single one of these tonalities just so we get practice, right? And everyone's going to get a chance to do this, right? So if I had neutral tonality, I would say, I like your shirt. It's kind of boring, right? I'm already falling asleep. If we have seeking rapport tonality, what's it going to sound like? It's going to sound like, I like your shirt. It almost sounds like a question, right? That's that seeking rapport tonality. Again, that's one we want to avoid, as well as neutral tonality. Then we have breaking rapport tonality. So it'll be like, I like your shirt. See how it goes down a little bit better. Just sometimes breaks too much rapport, not really the most inviting, right? Finally, positive dominance, where it'd be like, hey, I like your shirt. similar to the breaking rapport, but I'm doing it with a smile and it adds that fun like vibe to it, right? So we'll give you guys a chance to go in order. We'll start with Minar and I'll work our way down to everyone else here. If you guys want to participate live, we are on Zoom and we're practicing these tonality skills so that you can actually become a better communicator and thus become a better networker. Minar, you ready to go?
Yeah,
Okay, nice. So we'll use the same sentence, the sentence of I like your shirt, right? And then I want you to go through each of the tonalities. So we'll start with neutral. Try neutral tonality first.
I like your shirt.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, kind of like boring, monotone. Awesome. Next, seeking rapport tonality. That's where it goes up at the end of the sentence. Try it out.
I like your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Almost sounds like a question. Right? I'm just like, is he telling me that he likes my shirt? Is that a question? I don't really know, right? Next, try breaking rapport tonality. That's where it goes down at the end.
I like your shirt.
Cool. It was close to seeking reports, like it went up a little bit. Try to really break it down. It's like, hey, I like your shirt. Try again.
I like your shirt.
Better. Cool. Next is thanks for a few moments. Gotta head back to work. Mike says, hey, no worries. Thanks for joining, man. Really appreciate you. Hope you have an awesome day at work. And if I don't see you again, happy holidays and happy new year, man. The last one, Minar, this one is going to be positive dominance. So do the breaking rapport of like, I like your shirt. It breaks down, but then try to add a smile to it. I know we can't really see you right now, but almost have it like it's almost like an inside joke. Try it out.
I like your shirt. Is that? I don't know if that was right.
It's not bad. Try again.
I like your shirt.
Getting better there. Yeah. I think the first one was a little bit better. Yeah. It's almost like if you get to a point where you can make yourself laugh while you say it, that's kind of that sweet spot where, and you'll see this like these great networkers, these people that are good communicators, they always have a smile on their face, always having a good time, even when they're serious. It's like you don't know if they're joking, right? Yeah, good stuff, Minar. Awesome. Just so this doesn't get boring, I'm gonna put a different uh sentence. We'll go with Raf because who's iPhone? iPhone, maybe drop your first name so I don't just call you iPhone the whole time. We'll get you to go a little bit after though. But Raf, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. I'll give you a sentence. Let's go with apples are a great fruit. Sure, we'll go with that. Cool. So with that, Raf, let's start with Shadrake. Hey Shadrake, hope you're doing well, man. Welcome to the chat. So with this, so we'll start with neutral tonality, Raf. Try neutral tonality saying I like or apples are a great fruit. Try neutral tonality first.
Apples are a great fruit.
Yeah, awesome. Just regular, kind of monotone, not the most interesting, something we want to avoid. Cool. Now try seeking rapport tonality, where it goes up at the end.
Uh, Apples are a great fruit.
Nice. Yeah. So it's like, I don't even know if you're asking me a question. It's like, are apples a great fruit? I don't know. Cool. Try breaking rapport tonality now, where it goes down at the very end.
Apples are a great fruit.
Nice. Yeah, that was good. So apples are a great fruit. Nice. Cool. Last one. This is where the sweet spot is. If you want to really improve your communication networking skills, is positive dominance. So it's like there's almost like an inside joke. It's almost like you're trying to make yourself laugh, basically. But then with that positive dominance, right? Try it
Apples
out.
are a great fruit.
Nice. Yeah. Pretty
I
good.
don't know if that makes a difference.
That was not bad. Yeah, that was pretty good. So Minar is going to take care of his kid. No worries. Awesome. Thanks for. You'll see that this positive dominance is something we really got to practice, right? Like now that it's in your awareness, you'll see that you'll catch yourself, right? And like I'm not perfect either, right? There's days where I'm just like I'm talking, I'll watch like an old YouTube video and I'll be like, man, the whole YouTube video, I'm just like speaking with rapport seeking. Like I watch my old YouTube videos, I'm just like, wow, I'm trying way too hard. Um, my voice is like going up, it's like cracking and stuff. It's like, hey, welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. Hope this offers you value. And then I'm just like, hey, I got to redo these videos. But we got to start somewhere, right? And that's why I like to record how you speak, record videos of yourself to improve your skills as a communicator. And that's literally why I do all these live streams, create all these videos. Because a lot of these, like, I don't have a script, right? What I'm trying to train is this ability to freely associate, right? Kind of late to session, but seems really interesting. Can I get tapped? Yeah, you will. You're gonna get tapped in. Nice, good stuff. So Drake, I'm excited. Cool. So as you get more practice and as you pay attention to how you communicate, you'll see and you'll catch yourself be like, hey, am I using like breaking rapport tonality right now? Am I seeking rapport tonality at the very end? Or am I using like that positive dominance when I speak? Right. Cool. So Drake, you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I don't know really what's going on here, but I just kind of hearing to different tones. So if you could just help me, just kind of get me in the loop here, then could
Yeah.
give it a shot.
For sure, man. I'm gonna copy paste this back in the chat so you know what we're talking about here. So yeah, basically we're doing an exercise on the different tonalities, right? Because this
Okay.
is really what's gonna help you get better as a communicator. It's gonna help with your sales. It's gonna help with real estate investing. It's gonna help with your personal networking, professional networking, whatever it is. So there's four tonalities that exist, right? There's neutral tonality, where it's like that weatherman kind of speak, where it's like, welcome to Winnipeg. Now it is -4 degrees and it's slightly cloudy outside. Kind of boring,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's very monotone, right?
hmm
Next tonality that people will use is going to be seeking rapport tonality. This is where it goes up at the end. This is like that coffee date mentality and tonality. It's like, hey, how's it going? Um, it is now we're in Winnipeg and it's -4 degrees outside. Like it goes up and it's like someone trying to take from you, right? Um,
Okay. Just a
not the
quick question
most,
though. Is
yeah,
that
go
like
ahead.
the same way how how somebody sometimes someone asks a question but it's like they kind of wondering? Is that the same terminology?
Exactly. That's the same type of tonality. It's like when you ask a
Okay.
question, right?
All right.
And I'll see this with like people that aren't the best communicators, where I'll be talking to them and they'll be telling me facts, but I don't know if they're asking me questions. I was talking to one guy. I was actually coaching him through some stuff, and then he was telling me, I was like, okay, cool. Like, what are you actually into? Like, what do you like? And he's like, I like anime. And I'm just like, do you like anime? And he's like, yeah, I like
Yes.
anime. And I'm just like, I don't know if you're asking me a question, dude. And he's like, oh.
hmm
And I showed him the next one, which is breaking rapport tonality. This is where it goes
Yeah.
down at the end. This is going to be like, hey, how's it going? Or like, hey, I like your shirt. And it goes down at the end. A lot more commanding, right? A lot of bosses will use this to kind of order their people around and get them to do stuff.
hmm
Um, Better than seeking rapport, but it breaks rapport now. So it doesn't create that connection that we humans actually need and want, right?
hmm
Now you have positive dominance. This is the sweet spot, right?
hmm
Breaking rapport tonality is good at times, especially if like you're in a like an intense sales position. But I find positive dominance does the same thing, but it still keeps that connection, which is going to be key, right?
Okay.
So positive dominance, it's breaking rapport plus that fun, positive vibe. I simplify it as it's breaking rapport with a smile. So instead of saying
Okay.
like, hey, go grab the chicken for me, I'll be like, hey,
Mhm.
can you grab the chicken for me? It's still breaking
Okay.
rapport, but I'm doing it with a smile. And it's almost like, oh, is there going to be a joke that comes up? Like they're not really sure, but it makes it that it's more inviting. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, okay. Just do you usually use like I don't know, like do you say hey please or may you or any kind of words like that? Could you also include into that or it just the way you pronounce it or the way you put it out there should be enough for them to actually get it?
Good question. I always focus more on how I say things, and then
Okay.
later on, I'll add like what to say, right? Just because it's you can have it's called wordsmithing, where
Mhm.
you're picking
Yeah.
the right words, but a lot of that can be avoided if you just know how to say things, if that makes sense.
Okay, okay. Yeah, no, because sometimes I find it hard for myself, you know, like I want people to do something, right? But it's like
Oh, I think you just cut off there.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Yeah, yeah. I just said, you know, sometimes I find myself in that situation where it's like I want to tell somebody to do something, but I'm just scared the way it's gonna come out. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna use the sweet word just because I don't want to get no as an answer, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it helps, like, please and thank yous go pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
The positive dominance goes pretty far too, because then you're still asking them, you're kind of like still directing them to do something. It's like, hey, can you grab me the chair, please? And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still adding please, I'm still breaking rapport, but I'm doing it with a smile. So it's a lot more inviting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Welcome, Regine, to the chat. We got Calf in the chat. Cool. If you want to jump into the live training, where we're actually getting people to participate, it's on Zoom. Link is in my bio. Click that in there. That way you can actually participate and work on this stuff. Shadrake, cool. So exercise makes sense. We're going to go through the different tonalities. I'll give you a sentence. But drinking water is important. That'll be your sentence. So your sentence is drinking water is important. And let's start with neutral tonality. Just try neutral tonality saying that sentence. Go ahead.
Uh, Drinking water is important.
Nice. Cool. Solid. It's regular tonality. Nothing too exciting. Kind of boring. It's all good. Cool.
Yeah.
Next, try seeking rapport tonality. Try that tonality where it's like your voice goes up at the end. It's like, hey, how's it going? Try with that sentence.
Okay. Drinking water is important.
Yeah, nice. So it's like, I don't know if you're asking me a question again, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's that seeking rapport. And that's really what puts people off when they're in like
Mhm.
sale. Like if they're in a sales position, like you ever walk into like a store and someone's like, hey, how can I help you? And you're just like I know this guy wants to sell me something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Even that's actually a good point there, because you know sometimes like you know you're walking in a store, you don't really want to talk to anybody, or you just you know they you know they want to sell you something, but just the way somebody asks you a question, it forces you actually to even create a conversation. You know, like I run that into myself sometimes. Like you know what, the way he said it, like I can't walk away just without saying anything. So that's really a good point there.
yeah, totally. And it's like you can say the same thing. Like you could walk up to someone and then be
Mhm.
like, hey, how can I help you? And then they're like, they kind of get the feeling you do want to help, but you don't
Yeah.
need to help them. It's not like I need you to buy something type thing.
Definitely, definitely. That makes it. That's a really good point there, because you know sometimes that's what you know separates somebody from buying and not buying, just the way you actually use it and the way you actually you know. I guess body language is a big thing too when you actually come to talking, right?
Totally.
So
Yeah, totally.
yeah, body
That's why I
language is a big.
simplify. Sorry to cut you off there. That's why I simplify the positive dominance tonality with
Mhm.
breaking rapport, but with the smile. Because then
Oh.
just by you smiling, like it's actually inviting. Like if I was on this call just like deadpan the whole time,
Hmm.
like cool, I can give you the right info, but it's not as interesting and it shows that like I don't really care. Right. Versus like, hey, if like I'm here, I actually want to be here with you guys, I'm having a good time, I'm smiling, it actually invites people in, opens people up.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Because even you know, even just you the way you move your body shows how serious you are, or you know what you're talking about. Because I actually been to session where somebody literally just stands there and he just talking, man. He like, you know what's going on here? There's no any movements, you know. So it's kind of like even those little movements kind of like keep the somebody interested in the
Mhm.
conversation. So
Totally.
body language is really a huge thing for me.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, yeah, if they're not moving, it makes you feel weird. It's like, what's going on? Is this dude a robot or like what's happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It makes me
Sweet.
just wanna leave. It's like, okay, man, I don't get this. It's getting a little weird. Like, can
Mhm.
you move, or is it just a robot that
Yeah,
stand
exactly.
on? You know?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Where were we? Okay, we
Mhm.
did seeking rapport. Okay, try breaking rapport tonality with that same sentence. So that's when the sentence drops at the end.
That's where the sentence drops at the end.
Yeah, it goes down. So it'll be like, instead of like, hey, how's it going? It's gonna be like, hey, how's it going?
Okay. Um, Drinking water is important.
A little up there. Try to go down a little bit more. Really exaggerate it.
Okay. Okay. Drinking water is important.
That's it. Awesome. Cool. See how you break down? It goes down a
Mhm.
little bit.
Oh,
That's again, it's going to be a little bit more commanding. You can use this in like I use this in situations where like I have to have a serious conversation with someone where it's like,
oh,
hey man, you're kind of screwing up.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then basically from there, then they take it a little bit more seriously. I would not speak in breaking rapport all the time because
Mhm.
it's gonna make you sound like an asshole, basically, if you use it too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no,
That's like
definitely,
this.
definitely. Because I feel like I've kind of used this tone before, but I actually didn't really think it like this because I used to work with the kids at the community center, right? Because
Right.
some of these kids you play with them, right? But it's actually time that you actually want them to do something, right? So it's like if you actually don't say it in the right tone, they're gonna think you're still playing, right? So
Hmm.
every time I want them to do something, like okay, it's like I'm kind of direct to them, but I'm not in too direct. But they'll be like, you know what, Shadrick is serious now. Now I gotta do it. But
Hmm.
actually, even until now, I didn't even realize that, and I just I guess it goes with kind of like the way you feel too sometimes too, because sometimes if I feel happy, it's gonna be hard for me to actually get into
Hmm. Totally. It's like adding
So
that
this is
emotion
a good
behind
stuff.
it, right? Just because like we're human, right? The key of communication is to like pass not just info, but like who we are and then the emotions behind it, right? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So try the last tonality, which is the positive dominance. So this is breaking rapport tonality, but with a smile. So instead of being like, hey, how's it going? It's gonna be like, hey, how's it going?
Okay, do I gotta put on my video so you see me smiling?
Yeah, you can put your video on if you want, man.
Okay, I'm just driving, so I'm already
Oh, nice.
smiling anyway. So
Yeah. Nice.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, drinking water is important.
Nice. Cool. So it breaks down a little bit, but I don't
Yeah.
feel like you're telling me, like you're directing me or anything. Feel like you're actually having a conversation with me, having a good time. And the
Mhm.
smile shows that, like, cool, like this guy's just positive, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
That's the
Good
good
stuff,
stuff.
man. Rafael, you already went, I believe. Before I let Regine go, we're gonna go with Vien. Vien, are you there? I think they just might be listening in. They might be in answering some emails or whatever. Cool. So these are four tonalities. Regina, you want to give it a shot? You can take your mic off.
Okay. Sorry, I'm at work.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
The
Okay.
table spacer.
Kind of. It's like a little like yeah.
Okay, cool. Sweet. So I'll give you a random sentence. We'll go with let's go with having a car in Winnipeg is key. Cool. So that'll be your sentence. And then
Okay.
did you catch the different tonalities?
No, not yet. I just
Okay.
got in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. So I'll kind of explain that to you. So there's the four tonalities. We got neutral tonality, which is kind of like that weatherman speak, where it's like, welcome to Calgary. The weather is 4 degrees and it is slightly clear outside. It's just monotone. It's kind of boring. It doesn't really like pull people in to want to
Yeah.
communicate with us. Seeking rapport tonality is that like that coffee date tonality. It's like, hey, how's it going? Welcome to
Hmm.
Winnipeg. It's -3 outside. It's like going up each time, or it's like almost someone's like,
Yeah.
it's cringy because like it makes you feel like someone wants something from you.
Hmm.
Breaking rapport tonality is where it goes down at the end. It's kind of how like your boss would speak to you. It's like, welcome to Winnipeg. It is -3 outside, and I need you to grab the tissue box. So I'm like telling, it's like going down a little bit.
Hmm.
And then the sweet spot where we actually want to be in, most of the time anyway, is going to be positive dominance, where you're breaking rapport, but you're doing it with a smile. So it'd be like, instead of being like, how's it going? It's like, okay, hey, how's it going? And it's like, it's almost like there's an inside joke after each like sentence. that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll put that in the chat. So there's a different tonalities there. Cool. So your sentence is having a car in Winnipeg is key. Let's try it with the neutral tonality.
Having a car in Winnipeg is key.
Yeah.
Like,
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome. Simple.
I
It's
don't
just,
know.
yeah, it's kind of just how a lot of people just normally talk, or it's like you just
Yeah.
like you're just reading it basically. Cool.
Yeah.
Next is seeking rapport tonality. That's where it goes up at the end. Like, hey, how's it going? Try that with that sentence.
Having a car in Winnipeg is. Wait, I don't know. Okay. Having a car in Winnipeg is key. I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference.
It's not bad. It went up a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was exaggerate a little bit, but like no one really actually speaks like that. You'll
Yeah.
just catch people like make that like mistake. A lot of this is
Mhm.
unconscious too, right? A lot of people are just like they're speaking in that coffee date mentality just because they're a little bit uncomfortable. They're trying to make the person like them, or they're trying to get something out of them, right? Cool.
Yeah.
Not bad. Try the breaking rapport tonality where your tonality goes down at the end.
Breaking a report. Okay. Wait. I feel like I don't know if I'm like I can't tell like if I'm saying it like if there's a difference like when I'm saying
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
I'm listening to it, so yeah.
okay.
You can also put an emphasis on it where it goes down. Sometimes that helps.
Having a car in Winnipeg. Wait. Okay, where is it? Having a car in Winnipeg is key.
Nice. Yeah. So it's slightly there. It just drops a little bit. Like having a car with Peg is key, right? Cool. Now the last part is positive dominance. So that's going to be breaking rapport, but you do it with a smile, as if you have like an inside joke that's going to come after.
Okay. Um, having a car in Winnipeg is key. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah.
I don't
Try
know.
again. That wasn't bad.
I
That
feel
was
like
bad. It's close
yeah.
to yeah. Yeah. Try again. Try to like add
Okay.
add the smile at the end, as if you're like you're gonna tell a joke, but like you're not.
Okay. Having a car in Winnipeg is key.
Not bad. Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah. See. Cool. A lot of it is like it sounds weird, but if you imagine that you're like about to make yourself laugh, it makes positive dominance a lot easier, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll even like exaggerate where like literally at the end of all my sentences, that's where I'll add the smile, right?
Yeah.
And that way it like smooths out how you speak. You're still breaking rapport, but it's not like I'm breaking rapport because like I'm telling you to do something, right? It's
Yeah.
more so I'm breaking rapport, but it's kind of an inside joke between all of us. I think, yeah, I'm really exaggerating when I'm speaking like this. Cool. So with those 4 tonalities, thank you for volunteering. That was awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
With those 4 tonalities, the key here is just like you want to develop that self-awareness of what tonality you're using and eventually get to this zone where like you're almost always speaking in positive dominance. What this does too is because you're more focused on how you say things versus what you say, it's gonna make networking way more fun. Because like if you notice, if you try to spend a whole day speaking in positive dominance in like all your interactions, it'll almost like just make you feel good. And then you'll notice that you'll get into this flow state where you feel good networking and communicating because of how you're speaking as opposed to what you're actually saying. And that's again that sweet spot. That's where you'll get into networking events, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to talk to you. People are just like giving you all this free stuff. You're having a good time. You're not thinking about what you're saying, and then everything is just smooth and easy, right? Because if you overthink it, that's where we'll get caught in like all these like issues of like, oh my God, like what do I say? Right. Where like literally you could walk up to someone and be like, hey, like having a car in Winnipeg is key. And they're like, what the heck? And like, anyway, hey, my name's Patrick. And then you start chatting with them. You can get away with a lot if you're just trying to have fun. And of course, there's like more times where you gotta be serious. That being said, you can still use positive dominance. You can still be free flowing. and not thinking about what you got to say. And it just makes like the networking way easier, right? Because it's very easy to just get stuck in your head. And if you're someone that wants to really improve those communication skills, I highly suggest you get like a sales job. Like seriously, like having a sales job and just like speaking to so many people day to day is so powerful. Now, if you don't want to get a sales job or you already got a career, it's like cool, solid. What you could do, this is a little bit of a homework piece for everyone, you guys can try, is kind of practice these exercises that we did, but record yourself, right? So you don't have to post it if you want, you can. It's a big reason why I make YouTube videos, like just no script, just talk, and it allows me to get ideas out and practice this tonality. And what you want to do is like record yourself, maybe record yourself for 5 minutes. You could talk about your day, you could talk about anything, you could practice free flowing and whatnot. But the idea is that you record yourself for like up to 5 minutes. You don't got to go longer than that, and then listen to yourself in a few ways. This is really going to help you identify like, are you actually on point with your tonality? Are you communicating in a way that's clear? Are you actually loud enough when you're speaking? And as you do this, basically, as you record yourself, there's gonna be two things. You want to watch the video and then see how your communication was. Find out, okay, am I using rapport seeking? Am I using positive dominance? Then, if you're having a hard time identifying it, listen to the video recording of yourself without watching the video. So you're just listening. And this is really going to get you in touch with, okay, am I having that rapport seeking? Am I speaking like this? Am I always trying to get attention through my voice and I'm trying to get rapport? Or is it more like, okay, cool, like I'm having that actual positive dominance when I speak, speaking smooth, it's loud enough, they can actually hear me and whatnot. Welcome, Mael, to the chat. Then the last part that you want to take a look at is watch the video recording of yourself with no volume. And this is going to show you all the other, let's say, body language aspects. Are you actually looking into the camera, right? Are you looking everywhere and like you're not really too sure like where you're looking at? It does take practice, right? Like right now I have like two cameras here, so I gotta like switch between the two, but this is gonna help, especially if you have a hard time like maintaining eye contact with people. That's kind of at a higher level, right? Of like, okay, you're paying attention to like how you portray yourself as you speak. A little bit more advanced than what we're talking about here. Something you guys can actually try. It's a great exercise. People actually combine this with creating a podcast, right? Because when you're in a podcast, it's all your voice. And if you have a voice that has that rapport seeking tonality that goes up each time, it's going to pop up very quickly. Like you're going to notice it right away. Cool.
Can I ask you a
Shadrik, you have a question? Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of have two questions though, because I usually find myself, I have a lot of people have just told me right now I'm pretty good at public speaking, but I don't usually see it. So a quick question. So let's say you're speaking in public though, like where do you usually look at the most time? Because sometimes, you look at people and they kind of look at you back, then you kind of lose track what you were talking about. Like what's the best thing to do when it comes to those kind of situations?
Good question. So this is more when you mean public speaking, like you're not on stage, right? Like you're just like
Let's say
talking.
you're on stage in public.
You are on stage?
Yeah, you're on stage, because I feel it's different when you're actually recording yourself, then you're actually just looking at the camera, right? Because everybody's watching. But when there's actually people in public, now you're more confused, right? Because there's a lot of things going on.
Got it. Okay, yeah. No, that's a good question. So, whether you're on stage, like you're actually public speaking on stage, or if you're just speaking to a whole group, right? Like just a group of people, maybe there's like 4 people around you. The key is you want to move eye contact between people, right? You'll see me do this all the time whenever I'm speaking on stage, let's say on like an alliance event. I'm not speaking to the whole group, right? I'm not even doing it here, right? I'm actually pretending that, Shadrake's in front of me and I'm speaking to Shadrake. And then, who's on live stream here? Then we have Mayel on live stream and I'm trying to pretend that I'm speaking to him there. if you're public speaking to more than one person, you want to alternate who you're talking to. You don't want to talk to the whole crowd, right? Because it's not going to connect. I'm going to have my exact same speech or talk or whatever I'm saying, but I'm looking at that person, picking one person in the crowd, and it's like I'm talking to them. Then after a few seconds, when I make eye contact and I can see them nodding and stuff, then I'll look at the next person, right? Then I'll see, okay, are they paying attention and whatnot? And this does two things. What's up, Mel? Hope you're doing well. This does two things. One, it holds people's attention. If you're actually looking at one person at a time when you're speaking to a large group, it's going to make it that they're actually paying attention to you. Because then if you're just sitting there speaking to a whole group, it's like you're not really connecting with anyone, right? The second thing that it does is it allows you to gauge attention, right? Harder to do online, right? Because then I'm not really like seeing, like I don't see you guys. Some of you guys have your camera's off, right? But I don't get to see like, okay, are your pupils wide? Are you nodding? Are you like falling asleep and stuff? But as you look at individuals in the group, you'll see and you'll be able to gauge the group. And then this is where, and we'll jump into another exercise that we'll do, is the different ways to change how you speak. Again, a lot of us are focusing on, a lot of what we're doing today is focusing on how we communicate, not necessarily what we say, right? Because now you can literally say anything, right? But as you're, let's say, maybe you're losing people's attention. There's a few techniques you can use to grab people's attention back into you, right? I just did one here. So that's called your shotgun, okay? So there's a couple strategies here. Now I'm going to invite everyone, Mael, if you want to jump into, if you got some time, hit the link in my bio, get onto the Zoom chat. We're doing some live exercises. There's a couple people here with us, and we're actually practicing these strategies. So yeah, if you want to jump in, want to participate, hit the link in my bio, and I'd love to see you on a Zoom there. But shotgun is one way of communicating where I'm increasing the volume real quick, and it's like, I'm shotgunning it so that they get my attention. So I get their attention, right? And it's, you're just adding that quick increase of volume and intensity, right? And I'll do this if I'm like seeing that, you know, maybe the crowd's kind of falling asleep. I'll also do this if like I'm falling asleep. Sometimes I'll speak for so long that I'm just like, okay, I'm doing positive dominance. I'm kind of getting sleepy here. I need to wake myself up. And I'll just like change that shotgun, basically. The next one is going to be volume change is another one. Similar to shotgun, shotgun's very intense, but when you change the volume as you get louder and louder and louder, it's going to create contrast if you bring back to a whisper, right? If you change to a whisper and you combine it with throwing your voice enough, making sure that you can highlight important things as you whisper, right? See how like it draws people in? And then this is really what great storytellers will say. They're like, hey, it was all intense. I was trying to run around in the jungle and I was telling this whole story. But then I noticed a leopard, right? I'm talking nonsense right now, but it's pulling people in, right? It's a lot more interesting. So that's that volume change.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know if it's the kind of same thing though, but I just kind of been reading a couple of few books. You know, one of them is How to Win Friends and Influence People. But I
Great
just
book.
yeah, I just noticed, you know, like sometimes even saying somebody's name, right? Let's say even right now, I'm not even listening or I don't even know what's going on, right? But once you mention my name, Shedrick, I'm like, man, I gotta go in here. Like now I gotta know, I gotta get what's going on. So I feel like, you know, even using somebody's name is really a huge thing. Then, you know, I'll kind of give even an example, right? There's this one time I went to this one event, right? Then I met a couple few fellas here and here. Then, you know, one of the fellas, you know, he told me his name, blah blah blah. You know, we shared a good story and everything, right? Then after a month or two, right? I met the guy. And I said his name. He was really surprised. He was really surprised, like, how do you remember my name, man? But even that kind of showed me the power of knowing somebody's name, because a name could really mean a lot, though. A name
Yeah,
could really mean a lot.
totally.
Yeah. So what I've been practicing nowadays, so if I go to an event, I write everybody's name,
Mhm.
because if you call them, hey, you come here, and I say, hey, Patrick, I have a question, right? Those are two different things, right? Those are
Totally,
two different
totally.
things. Like, you're gonna listen to that person who actually called you by your name just because he's getting more of your attention, right? So I don't know if it's kind of like the same thing or it's a different scenario, but I just wanted to share that out.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Mm,
it's so cheesy that people like always recommend it, but it's so good. Like I'll reread that at least once or twice a year, and
yeah.
it's the basics, it's the foundation, but it goes so far, right? Even when you're speaking to someone, like everyone's favorite word is usually their name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you're doing that. Like when you go to these events, I'll do that too. If I'm in an event and like everyone's introducing themselves, I'm writing people's names down just because it helps me remember. Another technique you can use to help remember people's names a little bit easier is going to
Mm-hmm.
be you attach something that reminds you of them, right? Sunny, welcome to the chat. Love what you do at Tutor Bright, man. But one thing is like, you know, I have the 11 out of 10 hat. So if I were to meet myself, I'd be like, hey, Pat, 11 out of 10 hat. And now I have that connection in my brain. So now I'll be able to remember their name a little bit easier. How to Win
That's a
Friends
good
and
one.
Influence People is like it's one of those it's a great book.
Yeah, definitely.
Other
I don't read
thing,
books, but just even opening the first page is like, damn, really? I should
yeah,
even notice
it's
this.
powerful.
Like, it's like even all this stuff, they'll help you in your personal life, in your business. Because I thought it was just like, because I was like, man, I don't need to win friends, But once I started reading more about it, it's like, wow, you could actually use this in this scenario, and it gives you different scenario. You could use it at home, you could use it in a
Mm,
personal life, you could use it in a business. So I would recommend somebody to read that book because really kind of helped me out a lot, to be honest.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No, it's super powerful using people's names. It goes far, right? Um, The other technique that's going to help with, again, getting people's attention and changing how you speak is going to be called staccato. Write this down. Staccato. Hope I spelled that properly. All that means is we are breaking down a word. Okay. So the example would be like, instead of me saying, hey, do you understand? I could be like, hey, do you understand? Right. And as you
Mm-hmm.
break it down, this will again pull people's attention in. The key here is that as you practice, you want to choose the right word to use it in. So if you overdo it, it loses its effect, right? Like if I said, if you overdo it, it loses its effect. I just sound like I'm a robot now. But if I
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I went to the library and it was so important that I found a book that was actually interesting because knowledge is key, right? So mixing it up. And as you do this, again, it's going to put the focus more on how you say things instead of what you say, right? Again, I'm adding a shortcut in there. And this is going to make it so that you're having more fun when you're speaking. You can change the volume a little bit. You can whisper. You can go back, double check like, hey, do you actually understand what I was just talking about? And then as you freely flow between these different techniques while still making eye contact with everyone, still having that like breaking rapport tonality, it's going to be super powerful in your communications. And it's going to make networking just fun because now you're going to these networking events to be like, hey, I'm going to work on my communication skills. Of course, I'm going to meet some cool people, but I'm not going to a networking event just to get value from people anymore. I'm not being like a leech of value. Instead, I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving value because I'm having a good time, I'm being real, and I'm getting into that free flowing state where I'm not really trying to overthink what I'm talking about when it comes to networking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. That really makes sense, though. I guess one more other question I had,
Yeah.
kind
Go
of
ahead.
we kind of went through it already, but I just want to know any recommendation that any books that you would tell somebody to read if they actually want to improve their communication and their sermon skills. Like, what other book or what other things would you actually recommend somebody to do?
Good question. I'm going to selfishly plug this because that's why we're all here. I actually launched my book, the Social and Financial Confidence book. You're going to get it free, right? So after this session, I'm going to send everyone the ebook. It's absolutely free. There's the course that comes with it too. I don't know if you signed up for the social and financial literacy course there. So it's again free ebook, free course in there. This masterclass was free as well. If you wanted to buy the book, I made it as cheap as I could on Amazon, where they still allow me to sell it. I think it's like $6 or whatever. I like make no money on that book, but it's all good. Because the key here is I I took this model of doing a launch like this from Alex Hormozy. So he dropped the book, $100 million leads, and I took the same playbook. We give out the ebook for free. We make the book as cheap as possible. We give a free course attached to it, and we do a launch like this, and it just builds more of that like goodwill, right? Like if you guys can improve on your communication skills and it doesn't cost you much. Maybe like it's going to cost you your attention, obviously, a little bit of effort. Whether you get the physical book or not, like the ebook's free. I'm probably going to come out with the audiobook at some point too. Again, it's going to be completely free. But the goal is to just like personally, my goal is to flip the whole guru thing on its head. Because I'm not a guru, right? Like I don't know everything. I'm telling you guys a lot of things I'm sharing with you guys. I've learned from my own mentors. I've had to go through like social anxiety to figure this out. And hey, if you can take these communication skills, you can take the ebook, take the courses, and improve your life, awesome, right? All I ask is, hey, you shout me out sometime if this actually did help. Like if you found that this masterclass did help, I'd love it if you guys could like take a quick photo or whatever, just quick screenshot if you're on your phone or whatnot, and then repost it, tag Alliance, tag myself, because the goal is really to spread this stuff. And, I was a teacher for 5 years. This stuff is not taught in school, right? We're taught to really like think about what you're gonna say, like overanalyze everything. Like, yeah, maybe you'll learn a little bit of how to actually communicate. Let's say if you're in a presentation, but life's not a presentation. Life is
Mhm.
life. Life has emotions in it. You're not going to be wanting to speak like a presenter if you're on a date or if you're trying to raise money or you're trying to close a deal. Like there's all these nuances. So yeah, basically what I want to do is like give this stuff out for free, whether you decide to work with Alliance or not. Like the content's out there. What we would really help you with if you did decide to work with us, Shadrake, you're already in the program there, would be basically the accountability and implementation around that.
For sure, that's a really great opportunity. Really appreciate it. I
Yeah.
guess my last question, but no least, I don't want to feel like I'm overtaking asking any questions. So
Oh,
if
it's good.
any
Go ahead.
other person is there who wants to ask question, feel free. Yeah. But my other question, as a mentor or as a coach or as a previous teacher, how do you usually get ready for communication or for conversation? Like, how do you get ready for that though? Because I found sometimes I might, let's say they invite me to actually talk to somebody, right? I feel like okay, I know what to say, but sometimes I just overreact or just what I say. Like I want to say something, but I say it too soon, or I don't even say it. Or like, how do you usually prepare for those kind of situation?
So like I guess the question is how do I prepare for like communicating and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good question. Um, a few things. So I don't know if you were here for in the beginning, but I'll start having conversations before I need to. So let's say I'm having like let's say I got to go to a speaking event or I got to go network, do some networking. Well, what I'll do is I'll actually just go out and just start chatting people up and have like small, quick conversations with people, right? What this does is it gets me warmed up, and now I'm actually in a zone where I can communicate freely, right? Um, if there's no one around and I gotta like still work on that, I want to warm up. or I'll call a friend and I'll just like start talking about jokes and start laughing around, use my positive dominance voice, and then get into that zone, right? That's going to help me a lot as well. Um, and then earlier I talked about like the 6 steps, how you can actually just like improve those communication skills. The big one is just practicing, honestly. Like I know for myself, if I'm in like a complete work mode and I don't talk to anyone for like 4 days, like I'm just on my computer, not even taking sales calls, not taking coaching calls, and I'm just like literally not talking to anyone. I'm just like writing or whatever it is, like I'm locked in. If 4 days I don't talk to someone, I'm gonna be stuck in my head. So what I'll do is while I go out, let's say I got to go to a networking event, while I'm going to the networking event, maybe I'll stop by like 7-Eleven. I'll chat up the worker, be like, hey, how's it going? Tell them a little bit of jokes and whatnot. Quick 10-second conversation. On to the next. I'll give people compliments. If you're really shy, it's super easy to just like walk around and just give people compliments. Give 5 compliments, you're not taking anything from them. The worst thing they could do is like say thanks, right? Like they can't really get mad at you. If they do get mad at you, it's not your fault, right? It's like, they're just dealing with some other stuff. But yeah,
No, for sure.
that
That's
helps.
really helpful stuff. That's good stuff there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. I think we got time for one more. Mael, you want to try the exercise? Raf, sorry, you had a question there?
Oh, go ahead. I can just ask that later.
Yeah, that's after. Okay, cool. Mael, you want to try the exercise or you're good?
What's the exercise?
Yeah, good question. So I'm going to give you a sentence and we're going to practice the 4 different tonalities. So there's 4 different ways of speaking. Neutral tonality is very like monotone, where it's like, welcome to Quebec. My name is Mael. It's very just like flat, right?
Mhm.
Then you have rapport seeking tonality where it goes up at the end. It's like you're trying to get something from someone, or it's like you're asking a question. It's like, welcome to Quebec, where it's like, are you asking a question? Like, I don't really know. Uh, then you have breaking rapport tonality, where it goes down at the end, where it'd be like, welcome to Quebec. It goes down a little bit. That's where how like bosses will talk to people. And then the last one is going to be positive dominance, right? So this is like breaking rapport tonality, but with a smile. So instead of saying welcome to Quebec, it's going to be like, hey, welcome to Quebec. I'm just adding a little bit of a smile to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, cool. So I'll give you a sentence. We'll go through that real quick, and then I think Raf might have a question, and then I might wrap that up because I just got a call, but we'll see. So I'll give you a sentence of condos are an investment. So your sentence will be condos are an investment, and then try it with like neutral tonality first. You can take your camera off if you want to. It's up to you. Nice.
Condos are an investment.
Yeah, nice. Very monotone, easy, kind of boring.
Yeah.
Next is seeking rapport, where it goes up at the end.
Condo are an investment?
Yeah, nice. So
Condo
it sounds like
are
a
an
question.
investment?
Like I'm not even like too sure. Like, is he asking me a question? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they're an investment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Now try breaking rapport tonality, where you go down at the end.
Condos are an investment.
Nice. Yeah. So it's
Condos are an
different from
investment.
it's different from the monotone because that wasn't monotone. That actually went down at the end. So that was good. Now the last one, and this is where we want to stay in the sweet spot, especially if we're wanting to improve our communication skills, is the positive dominance, right? So it's still breaking rapport, but you're adding a smile. It's almost like there's an inside joke at the end. Yeah, try it out.
Condos are an investment.
Nice. Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
notice that as people get really good at this, you'll start questioning if they're like flirting with you. You're like, is this guy flirting with me? Like, I'm not too sure what's going on. But it makes the conversation always a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
Sweet. Good stuff, man. Cool. Raphael, question, comment, critique, concern. I saw you turn on your mic there for a second.
Yeah, I never have I have no right to critique you, man. You know that. But I guess my question, I have 2 questions. So one
Yeah.
is, what's your recommendation for eye contact? Something that I constantly want to work at. And second is, with the nature of my work, I meet a lot of clients, and it's a mix of building rapport because you want to be liked by these people for them to
Mhm,
work with you. In the same time, you want to show that you have authority in terms of giving advice, and you know what
mhm,
what you can give a good advice. So I guess what's your recommendation as well in nature of my work? Like what's a good strategy to
mhm.
communicate with these clients and not break rapport as well?
Yeah, good question. So, for eye contact, if you have a hard time making eye contact, I would look at like their forehead or like their eyebrow. That's what I did in the beginning because I had a hard time making eye contact too. People can't tell, right? If you're looking here, it looks like you're looking them in the eyes. It is a little bit of training wheels, right? Eventually, you want to get good at looking them in the eye. And then you can like alternate between eyes, basically. Now, don't alternate too fast, it's going to look weird. But as you get better at it, then instead of looking at the eyebrow, then you can look them in the eye, right? It's okay to look away too. Like, you don't want to just like death stare them the whole time. It's kind of freaky too. But yeah, so if it helps, look into the eyebrow. And then as you get better, start picking like one eye to like look at. Uh, with the second question, with building rapport and having the authority, positive dominance is going to be that sweet spot because it's going to show you'll have the authority of the breaking rapport, but then you'll build rapport by actually just like smiling and having like that inside joke behind every conversation, basically. Because the seeking rapport, it doesn't actually build rapport, right? If the whole conversation is like, hey, like I want to help you out, and yeah, like here's your information, like it actually pushes people away. But if it's like, hey, I want to help you out, glad that you got into our office here, and how can I help you out? And it's by having that smile that's inviting, it's having that fun vibe, but also like as you go down in tonality, it's gonna attract the right type of people while setting you up and positioning you as the actual authority. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so how do what's your tips on maintaining eye contact, I guess? That's looking at the head, right?
Yeah. So if you have a hard time maintaining eye contact, I would look into their forehead.
Hmm.
Sup,
Yeah,
Kuya? I see you on the
and
chat. You're doing well.
yeah, and regarding the tone, the smile, is it accurate if I say it's more of a smirk? Because that's what I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Yeah, it's more like a smirk or a smile. It's almost like the joke that I use is it's like this guy's up to no good, but I want to join the party. Or just like, oh, like, yeah.
Okay. Good
It's like
stuff,
there's a
man.
secret, it's like there's a secret party, there's a secret joke that this guy knows about. Yeah,
Mm, good stuff.
good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Okay, thanks for everyone who joined here today. I'll be sending off those free ebooks later on. If you haven't signed up for the free course, you can get that as well. And then yeah, if you want to like get help with this even more and actually get like our one-on-one help, it is something that we include just because this is key, right? It's very hard to raise capital and network properly if like your communication skills kind of suck, right? Um, Cousin says, plenty of tricks of maintaining your composure when networking. Yeah, totally. Like there's a lot of these little tricks. And at the end of the day, like these are kind of training wheels. Once you get to a point where you have what's called core confidence, you'll see a lot of this will just open up, right? And that's something we do help people out with just because even with the tonality stuff, I'm not thinking all the time positive dominance, positive dominance, positive dominance. Instead, I'm just like, okay, here I am. I know that I can help, but I'm also having a good time with it. And I don't need to overthink anything, right? Like we did this whole masterclass, no script, right? We're just kind of free flowing. I had a general idea in my head of what I wanted to cover. But a lot of it is just like being able to freestyle what you say. And that's really going to help you get out of like sticky situations too, especially in entrepreneurship. So you guys are awesome. I'm going to get everyone, if everyone could I'm going to jump off Instagram here. You guys are awesome. I hope you're doing well. Happy holidays, man. And then what I'll do is if I get everyone to take their cameras off or on, sorry, and then I'll take a quick photo and then we'll be good to go. Let's make a gallery here. Got Shadrake. Awesome. Okay, we'll go. Oh, nice. Ian's there. Okay, sweet. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Cool. Awesome. Okay, good stuff, everyone. Thanks for joining. Look into your emails. I'm going to send off that. What's it called? I'm going to send off the ebook for free. If you guys want to get a copy, there'll be a link there if you want. You don't need to, right? Give you guys our ebook for free already. Link in the courses there as well. And then, yeah, you guys have been awesome. Hope you guys learned some stuff. Remember, these are key, but the key is actually practicing this on a daily and then using it in wherever you want to get better at, whether it's on the sales side, helping set up your clients, making sure that you're raising more money, closing more deals, or even if you're just meeting new people out and then kind of working on like the dating side. So cool. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for joining. And then yeah, see you guys on the flip side. Peace out. Have a good day. Happy Friday.
The knowledge I had with real estate wasn't that great, and that's when I knew I needed a mentor to guide me through the steps of minimizing my mistakes and obtaining property. It kept me accountable with the limited time I had after the long hours at work. It taught me things I wouldn't have learned without a mentor.
Thank you to Patrick. Big helped me with pretty much everything ever since I started. So big shout out to Patrick and Alliance.
Nice. Yeah, Nick's an action taker, so we can help guide you, but you still got to do the work, and Nick is a testimonial for that.
Sure.
And thank you again, Patrick, for this program. It changed my life. It changed my mindset. It changed everything. That was the best six weeks of my life.
I just want to give a shout out to my man Patrick. Just honestly been one of the best teachers that I've ever had.
It's a very informative course. Patrick works with you one-on-one, so if there's any questions or anything you might be doubting or you're uncertain of, he'll definitely be there to help. Honestly, highly suggest this course. It's taught me a lot through my journey.